What's your story? What was a story that you were going to
A lot
tell?
of stories. Some are like emotional and like good and happy, and then some are like, this is an unfortunate thing that happened to me. So I can go with either.
Let's start with emotional and then go to happy.
Okay. A story that comes up talking about emotional happy was when I came out to my mother. Yeah, that was a really, really big deal, and I'll remember every single detail of it. You know. Do you just want me to start?
Yeah, sure. I
Okay.
love hearing these.
So I had, for a really long time, you know, the stories that you hear where you're like, people know from an early age. I did too, but I just thought it was me being weird, so I didn't put thought into it. And I don't know, it was very strange growing up that way because I had no idea what was going on. I still have no idea what's going on, but it was just something that I was aware of. But at the same time, everyone around me, except for my friends in school, were like super not into that scene. And I don't know. It was like, of course, that was during like middle school and high school, so you know how kids can be when faced with something like that. So,
yeah. Although it's probably a lot worse in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it really is. You know, it gets pretty bad. I one day in middle school, all of my friends and I, who I'm still friends with, every single one of them, were sitting at the lunch table at Hefner. And one of them was like, you know, I think I'm bi. And then we were all like, sure, why not? And we were all, that was like everyone. We just started going by that. And I texted my mother during the middle of like computer class or something. And I just told her, and she was like, I think she thought that we had been like yelling about it at lunch. And she was like, so she got like freaked out. And then I came home and I was like, I was kidding. It was a joke. Never mind. You know. And I just avoided it. And then it kind of stewed for 2 or 3 years. And one of the things that kept me from talking about it was that my family would sometimes make remarks, like just little remarks, and they were harmless now that I look back on them. But when you're so paranoid about like everything that you do, I was convinced that they would like kick me out of the house. And something horrible would happen, and I'd be like disowned, even though they are not the type of people in the world to ever do that. That was what I was convinced because of the things that they had said. And so it all happened. Actually, it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago next month. So my mother and I went to a Lady Gaga concert in St. Louis at the Scott Trade Center.
That's already a good start.
Yeah. In case she didn't already know. And, you know, we got there and she did my makeup because I wanted like eyeshadow because it was supposed to be like a super dark and like fun like show, and everyone was going to be wearing like crazy stuff, which they were, and it was the best concert I've ever been to. But it also has sentimental ties. But anyway, so we saw her, and I've always loved her. She's my number one. We go to every concert. She came here and we went to go see her a couple in December. But you know, at one point she stood up and she sang a song from the album, and she was like, and this one's for all my queer LGBTQ plus fans. I want you to stand up and, you know, whatever. And I started to cry because I knew I couldn't stand up because she didn't know. And I was like, I should. And then I was like, no, not right now in front of like 10 million people. And so we were in our hotel room the next day. I think we were staying another day because we were going to go by literally our hotel was like right by the arch. And so like you could see it from the window. It was like a yard away. And I spent the whole morning while she was getting ready, just like sitting and staring at the window down at the street. And I was like, "This I can't go on like this. This isn't working." And I was texting my friend who was like telling me what to do, and I was like, they were like, "Just talk to her." And I was like, "I can't. This will end badly. She will leave, and I will stay here." And eventually, I just started crying, and she came out and she saw that something was wrong, and she asked me what was wrong. My mother asked me what was wrong, and I didn't answer, and so she kind of came closer, and I just looked at her and I said, "Do you love me?" And she said, "Of course." And I said, "Will you always love me?" And she just sat down on the bed and said, "Tell me about it." And she knew right away.
Right.
And so we sat there and I cried like a maniac for like 3 hours while we talked about it. And according to her, the thing she was saying, like while we were there, some guy came in an elevator and he was wearing like short shorts and a tank top and glitter everywhere. And he was like, "Are you guys excited for Lady Gaga?" And she was like, "I can't believe people let their children go out like that." And I was like, But apparently she was saying those things, according to her, to kind of coax me into being like, "Well, what if
Right.
which I understand, but it was a very bad tactic.
Right. Just because it puts you off even more.
Yes, exactly. It was horrible. And so I was like, "I appreciate your effort, but that was not the best way you could have gone about that, Mother."
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went from there. My friends knew before my family knew, because I was just, I felt more confident telling my friends. But, and then it just kind of went from there. I told my family, and of course, a couple of them were like, "Well, I mean, I wouldn't have wished for it, but I can't like stop loving you or whatever."
Right.
There hasn't been. I've been lucky enough to be in a situation where there haven't been many people that I'm very close to that have been like, "I can't talk to you anymore," which does happen all the time. It happens to so many people. I know people that it's happened to where they've come out and half their family's been like, "You can't visit us, you can't see us, we don't want to see you on holidays anymore."
Right.
And it's horrible, and it makes me so sad. And I'm lucky that didn't happen to me. So I'm very privileged, and I try to help. And then it just kind of went from there, and I started kind of, dressing and doing more stuff that I like. And that was 2013. So you were gone. And I dropped out of band that year. And then I joined Guard in the winter. And I did Winter Guard. And that was kind of a way of me like expressing myself during Winter Guard. And that was amazing until it came to a very abrupt end. That's my other story. Okay. That's my party story that I tell at parties. Because it's one of those where I'm telling it and then I tell the end and people are like, "What?"
So yeah, sure. I don't know about any of these things. What happens?
Okay. So I don't know if you got to meet her because I think Brittany was still there. I was in Guard. Do you remember who Kayla Hearn was?
Probably not. I also, by the time that my senior year rolled around, more and more people were becoming just, and especially even now, more and more people are becoming blurs to my memory.
Well, she was a director. Okay. Well, she was the Guard director that came in after Brittany.
Okay.
And she was who I worked with. And, since I had dropped out of band the previous semester, they were my friends, Aisha, who's my best friend now. All the Guard kids are my best friends now. He told me, "Hey, you should come to Winter Guard auditions." And I was like, "I can't dance." And he was like, "No, you should come." And so I went and I auditioned, and she said she really liked me and that she thought I had a lot of potential. And so while I was auditioning, Dane and Rob Hullett came up, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" And they were like, "You can't mess us up again." It was like the two Muppets that heckle each other. And I was like, I'm doing guard. I'm in a better place.
Mm.
This isn't going to happen again. I like what I'm doing this time.
Mm.
And so they were like, well, we need you to like tell us that you're going to be loyal to the program or whatever. And then I like got in trouble for being there. And then Kayla fought for me, which was like the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me
Mm.
because she saw potential in me. And she said, I want this kid in my guard.
Mm.
He's good.
Mm.
And so I made it, and we did a wonderful show, had a wonderful season. It was such a good show, and it was so much fun to spin. And then I came back for that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I came back for summer, they were like, you sure you're not going to ditch us again? And I was like...
I just did Winter Guard. What the hell?
Yeah, I was like, did I not just prove that I'm okay? And so I made it into guard for the summer. That was when we did Pale Blue Dot, which was so much fun because I got to be on the 50 for the big impact, and that was like my time. I think that they put my dot there on purpose because then if I left, it looked good enough because it was just a circle with something missing in the middle. Most of my dots were like that, so I'm pretty sure they strategically dotted me. But so summer starts, and Kayla and I grow really close, and like while she's while we're stretching, I'll sit next to her and we'll make fun of the other kids. Like we're really, really good friends. And you know, the seniors that year who were Aisha, Catherine, and Tori, and wait, no, sorry, that was Winter Guard. The seniors that year who were Olivia, well, you probably don't even know who they are. But Aisha, Catherine, and Tori were the seniors Winter Guard. And so they loved her too, and we were all like kind of a gang, and like we would go to eat Chinese afterwards with Kayla and some of the guard girls. And she was so funny when we were away from like the kids who couldn't spin, and she would like make fun of them. And it was really fun, but it was slightly unprofessional. But we didn't mind, you know. Everyone has a stress, but so summer starts. And it's going really good. I'm loving it. I'm loving being in the guard while we march. I'm actually having fun at band camp instead of like burning in the sun with something in front of me pointed up.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like at the same time.
Yeah, pointed up at like, you know, 75. But and so I have to remember the details correctly. We were doing so well. We had gone to some contests and I had performed. There was nothing like performing on the field with the flags, and I got to use swing flags, and I got to spin my rifle, and I got to do all sorts of cool stuff and dance, and then all of a sudden, out of literally nowhere, she starts being super hostile towards the guard and like bitchy. And so she starts being like bitchy towards the guard, and they're all like, I'm going to quit. I'm going to not be in guard anymore because she's making me feel horrible about myself. And she was throwing out insults that were like personal and like she shouldn't have been saying, even as a director and as like her really good friend as a student. I was like, this is not okay. And like she was just angry all the time. And so they were like, so we want someone to talk to her, but we're all scared. And they were like, Tyler, why don't you talk to her? You know, you talk with her the most. And I was like, yeah, sure, okay. Because I was going to be a senior the next year and I wanted to have credibility and be able to handle situations. And so I came up to her at lunch and she goes, what? And I was like, so I just wanted to talk because some of the girls are starting to feel a little burnt out because I think they're taking some of the criticisms personally. And I was like, and she said something that I don't remember, and I was like, well, we basically talked about that, but the whole time she was super snippy. And I was like, I'm not coming for you at all. It's just, I want to know. I remember saying, I want to know what we can do to help solve this problem and make it better. And basically it ended with her just saying, well, it better get better. And then like shooing me away. And I was like, okay. And so this is where it gets good. I I went and told them what she said, and I was like, well, I mean, I think I got the message through to her, but I don't really know. And then we practiced for a while, and then she just stopped showing up to practice. No one could find her. Band directors couldn't get a hold of her. No one. She's not answering her phone. She's not at her house. No one knows where she is for like 2 weeks. And then I can't remember if I left before she came back because I felt bad or how I left. She might have like come back and then I left a little bit after. But either way, she came back, and once I was gone, she told the entire guard. She came back and said, they were like, where were you? And she was like, oh, Tyler Johnston sent me to the mental hospital. He told me that I was a bad teacher and I was burning kids out. And I was like,
nice.
Okay. And so I don't think I should ever go back there, because the next day Dane came to me and he was like, if you have a problem with a teacher, you need to tell us. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? Turns out that's what he was talking about. And I never went back. It kind of ended my guard career.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's really dumb. But every time I pull the we still joke about it. Like, it's a joke now, but like it honestly really hurt for her to like turn on me like that.
Right.
It was just, I didn't appreciate it.
Right. But I mean, obviously she was going through some shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Obviously, but she had some personal issues to deal with, but she eventually, like later that semester, she was like, guard just isn't for me anymore, and she quit. And now I've talked to, I'm not sure if you should clap this, but I've talked to people who know people in the guard community, and they say that nobody wants to work with her anymore, and that she's like gonzo. So I broke somebody.
Well, I don't even think it was you that broke, because...
Oh, no, I know it wasn't my fault.
The guard as a whole was like, hey, something needs to be done about this.
Yeah,
so, like,
and so I took commission, and then I got bitten in the ass for it.
Right. So that's not your fault.
No, but the directors see it that way because they only heard her side of the story.
Right. Well,
so if I ever were to go back, I'd be like, please listen.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but do you know my end of the like drum major thing? So I mean, that's another instance where I think the directors didn't consider all aspects of the story. And so having done music ed for 2 years and now taking some education classes now for my master's, I'm like, I've always had a passion for teaching in the first place. And so I just think that what we were dealing with as far as directors and education or whatever, they did not have a passion for their students. Yeah. And this is a Keith White-ism, as he calls them, but like a Keithism that you only need two things to be able to teach. You need to know your stuff and have passion for your students. But really, you only need one thing, and that's just passion for your students. Because if you do have passion, you'll learn your stuff so that you can teach them. Yeah. And so in that regard, I just felt like we weren't dealing with people who were passionate about us succeeding.
Exactly. It just felt so unprofessional.
And so, and I mean, I don't... Sure, let this be slander or whatever, but like, I'd like to talk about it, because from what I've gotten and from other people that have gone through their program specifically as well, is that either you're on a good side or you're not. And
I was never on a good side. I was a problem child throughout. throughout my career in band, and I'm pretty sure that Dane like wanted to murder me because I was so frustrating. Like, okay, so we went on the San Antonio trip, which was like a blast. You know, I have vivid memories of the day we got to SeaWorld. Actually, I have vivid memories of the trip because I remember waking up in suburbs and we were all like, "Where are we?" I don't know if you were on that bus because we took 2 buses or 3.
I don't know.
But our bus, like,
would you have remembered John and I going woo woo?
Yes,
woo?
yes.
Yeah. So that yeah.
Actually, no. I was on a. I think I was on. I don't know. I don't know if I was on that bus. That you did that at the park though.
Oh yeah, we did that just constantly.
Oh, so I have vivid memories of everyone running to the back of the park and getting on the Steel Eel roller coaster, and you and
Coley.
Yeah, you and Coley were on there, and so were all the seniors sat in the back, and I was with my friends in the front. And it was the like most ecstatic experience going on a roller coaster with all these people that I knew. That was so fun. I have such fond memories of that trip. But then that night, I was rooming with some people that you know. They were in your section. And I'll just name them because it's a funny story.
Don't say last names, I guess.
No, I'm not saying last names. You might want to like cut what I've said before, but
I don't care.
Whatever. And so I was in there with Will and Derek and Tim. Those were my roommates.
Fun.
And so Tim goes, "I need this bed." And Will goes, "I need this bed." And Derek and I look at each other and we'll go, "Huh, we're sleeping on the floor." So Derek takes all of the pillows and the blankets, and I have the pillow that I brought and my backpack. So I slept on the floor, on my back, in the freezing cold, on top of a pillow because I didn't have any pillows to cover up with. And I was... I was laying like underneath the air conditioning because there was no room because we were on the floor, and I didn't fall asleep until like 7 a.m. and we had to be up at like 10 because we had to play that day. That was the day that we were going in for like our concert, whatever, which was fun because I love the music that we played. And so that happened. I woke up and I felt horrible. Like, I thought I was going to die. And so I was trying to get sleep anywhere I could, so I slept in the bus on the way there, and then all of a sudden we were there. And so we got there, and I played fantastically, of course. And then I was like, maybe I can go back to the hotel. And they were like, nope, we're going to Six Flags. And I was like, oh, boy. And so I spent the entire time we were at Six Flags trying to find out a way to get back home because I felt terrible and I could not do another day of sleeping on the floor like that. And so I was like talking to people and being like, like how could I get from point A to B? And so we didn't figure anything out. And the one ride that I wanted to ride at Six Flags was closed, so that was a bummer. I wanted to ride that little Superman ride.
Oh, yeah.
And it was closed all day. So I just waited outside and nothing happened. And so we get back to the hotel and I'm like dead. And I am like in the bathroom freaking out. And my mom calls me and goes, well, one of the directors said you could sleep in their room. And I was like, no, no, I'm okay. And I ended up being fine. And then, but I think that director told Tim because as soon as I walked in the door, he goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yeah, I guess. And so then when we were going to bed, Will was like, yeah, I'll call this bed again and Tim can have that bed again. And Derek and I looked at each other and we were like, floor again? And then Tim was like, no, why don't we share beds? Because I think he knew that I was like dying, and so I had to share a bed with Will, and then and then I was across from us was Derek and Tim in bed, and Tim would not shut up, and it was so funny. He,
I mean, Tim's great.
Yeah, they were ridiculous. He was just saying shit that was off the wall, and we were up until like 3 a.m. laughing our asses off because he wouldn't shut up. And then the next day we went to the Alamo, and we had lunch at the Hard Rock Cafe.
I have like vague glimpses. I feel like time is just disappearing from my mind, and just really like memorable things. Like I don't even remember like specific rides or anything. I do remember messing with Uncle Chuck the entire time. The student teacher, who I think we're still friends on Facebook, but we just called him Uncle Chuck and made fun of him, and said that he had a fanny pack the entire time, and it was just like
yeah.
That was pretty much that was pretty much Six Flags for us. I don't know why it is that like it's just disappeared from my mind. I also don't remember middle school at all.
I vividly remember my entire school experience. I also remember, this is funny, I meant to mention this. I remember our first contest ever when we were doing Pathways. It was at Moore. We got first place, which led me to have high expectations, which sadly, as my first contest ever, we got first place. And I was like, oh, we're going to dominate. Although that was a really good year. And we had won, and we were on the field, and after massing, and all the guards were talking to each other, and band members were talking to each other. And I was just kind of standing there because I had talked to my friends, and they'd ran off to do something. And I was just kind of standing there alone, and I hear a voice go, "Hey, Tyler!" And I turn around, and I see you coming towards me at full speed.
Oh, yeah.
And you go, "I forgot to give you a hug!" And you run over to me, and you lift my entire body off the ground and spin me around and set me down. And I was like, how did he just do that?
Yes, I did. Unless I missed someone, hopefully I did not. But I did specifically try to hug everyone that night because we won. So I mean, yeah,
celebration.
So yes, I specifically tried to hug everyone and lift everyone. Yeah,
I was impressed that you were able to get me off the ground. It was kind of horrifying just to see you like running towards me with your arms open.
Well, yeah,
you had a look in your eye.
I enjoy people. I enjoy hugging people, and it's my first thing. Love never fails. So
nothing to be ashamed of.
I think that while I spoke some figurative shit about the directors, I do think that music itself and the communal experience of it is sort of the best experience that I got out of it. And so like a lot of it is like the community and being interconnected with everyone and playing music at the same time. Yeah. And so the negative stuff like sticks out because it's like all this, drama about I mean, for me specifically, it was a drum major, but like all that doesn't mean much whenever in the end you're with this community of people and you're making music and you're having fun and everyone is a family.
Because it's unity. Everyone is one.
Yeah.
One body, one band.
And because of that, not necessarily because of that, but like it's one of the many reasons as to why I chose to continue doing music. That something different is happening whenever you are playing music in synchronicity with other people.
Yeah.
So I mean, that contributes to the most positive experiences I've had in music. But yeah, unfortunately, we had a shitty lead to that.
Yeah.
But I also had choir and the musicals and stuff that I was a part of, and so that also contributed to what I was doing. Do you have any other fun stories? Or do you have any story to ask of me?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I have like memories. Like I remember way too much about freshman year. Actually, don't remember anything about sophomore year, but I remember freshman year because it was my first year doing marching band, and I was like, "Oh, this is so new." I remember us trying to do mini marching, and it was not going well.
Oh yeah, that was a disaster.
There was a lot of screaming.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then we were performing, and someone tripped behind me and fell to the ground, and everyone had to step over him. And I literally almost fell flat on my face. But that did happen sophomore year. You weren't there for that. Oh my god, you would have made so much fun of me.
No. Well, I mean, my senior year was like also very, very bad for mini marching because we could not.
No, I mean, I was talking about for your senior year.
Oh yeah. Well, that was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was there. I experienced it. There was a lot. That's why I said there was a lot of screaming.
We tried, but
effort was made.
So I guess some background on that is that so the year before we had done really well in mini marching because I don't know if you would remember, but Lucas Rempe and Sonny Suman. Sonny has been on the podcast. But the year before we had done really well with Faust, and we should have won that mini marching, but whatever. I think Guard won that year, but they actually did their mini marching with flags, which is kind of unfair. But
wow, that is I thought they were only allowed to use poles.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, either way, it's like that's still an advantage that a section has. Anyways, and so I was put in a position of leadership with Jaren. And so we didn't communicate well. And so that was really just the source of the problem.
Yeah.
And so decisions couldn't be made well. And we just had terrible music and terrible decision making. So meh.
You should have seen it the year after. It was almost worse. Because we were doing it to like the Superman theme, I think, because there was some sort of Superman coming out that year. It was like Man of Steel or something had come out that year. I don't remember. And Brooks gave us the music for it. And he was helping us, but literally no one would shut up. And so at one point he literally was like, "Fine, do it yourselves," and he walked away for like the rest of the day. And we were just like, well, we don't even have the drill. So he had the drill. So let's figure this out.
Okay.
we had our but he had like the master plan.
Right.
So and he was just like, "Do it yourselves, I'm done." It was funny until we had to work it out ourselves.
Right.
And then he saw us like
shifting around.
Trying to figure out where to go. And he had mercy on us and came back. But that was really bad. Oh, there was a lot of yelling that year. And we did not do well at all.
Well, it's a shame, though, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I set the bar too high the year before. Not I, but like we had set the bar too high the year before, and then it's just like everything fell apart after that. And it was like, eh.
I don't know. I remember when I was in guard when we did mini marching, we did really good because we did like a rainbow thing. But I don't even remember what the music was.
Yeah. Or I guess we're telling these stories about mini marching, and we haven't even explained what mini marching is. So mini marching is where each section of the band, so like low brass, clarinets, depending on how big the section is, clarinets, flutes, trumpets, although I guess it was high brass because they also included mellows, saxes, low reeds,
percussion.
Percussion and guard would pick their own music and do marching drill with, like, this was a short marching drill with a section. And so every year, you know, everyone tries to be creative and make cool stuff. But some decisions are better than others. The cacophony of my senior year was, since the year before we had done Faust, we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we did like Dante's Inferno or something? And that didn't work because you can't do music to that. You can't do marching to that if everything is just hell.
And it was hell.
Yeah, it was. But Faust was really cool the year before. And then the year before that was my sophomore year. And so I had done, because I was drum major that year, the drum majors did an exhibition performance. Because, I mean, there were only 3 of us. And since we were like the drum majors, it was like, oh, we can't be scored for our thing. So we were like the exhibition performance for mini marching. And so we did, because the drum majors that year was myself, Daniel, my brother, and Daniel's girlfriend at the time was Julia Witcher. And so we basically did it to where, like, it was like a love triangle thing. And then by the end of it, I killed my brother, and like Julia and I like walked away in the sunset. It was great.
That's awesome.
We had like a choreographed sword fight and everything. It was fun.
Always over the top with you.
Which, I mean, also, I think that contributes a lot to the way that, you know, about my cosplay group, not my cosplay group, our cosplay group, Solstice Cosplay, that we do skits every year.
Yeah. I watched your skit from this year, I think. It was the Pokemon
one? Yeah. So, I mean, we use marching stuff, and we use, like, it's a mixture of, like, color guard and marching stuff, but I still, like, produce all the music and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, marching band is still a part of what I do even now.
You just learn things there that are very applicable to projects you'll be doing later in life.
Yeah. And a lot of it, while it doesn't necessarily pertain to music specifically, but it's sort of like, it's like academic-y term, but like organizational leadership is a very important thing I got out of it. And so it's like, people say that, like, oh, some people are leaders or whatever. And I think that anyone can be a leader if they're, like, taught how to be a leader, and if they like are put into that position in the right time.
Yeah.
And so I just ended up being a good leader, but that sort of organizational leadership thing contributed to the way that, the way that we plan skits or being drum major later or even like leading a band, because now I'm scheduling rehearsals to play my own music. So like that stuff still is contained within the leadership role, but I think more people need to be a part of something like that, a sport, or marching band's a sport. Because then you have to understand what it's like to be a part of a group, a part of a unit, and have to work together and organize in order to accomplish a goal.
To be in a marching band.
Yeah, I mean, sure, SpongeBob, but at the same time, it's still with like football or basketball or whatever.
It just teaches you kind of humility a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I came in and I was like, ooh. I mean, actually did not come in like thinking I was going to be hot stuff, I came in and I was terrified and I was like, these are older people. They're going to hate me. I was terrified. Actually, John was the first person that I met because I showed up to like the mini marching that we do in like July, where it's just like 3 days.
Yeah.
And he was the first person I met, and I thought he was going to be in my section. I was like, oh, I know him. And then he ended up being drum major. Right, and I was like, well, okay.
Yeah. Well. Anyways. Are we good? Do we have any other like mini stories to tell?
I think that's about it.
Yay, band stories. No, yeah, it's been fun catching up. Oh, yeah, actually, I do have the second podcast question that I ask. Instead of what advice do you have for people, what have you been watching, listening to, reading, or playing? I don't know if you're playing any video games that you want other people to know about.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have so much. Okay, obviously Black Mirror. I've been indulged in Black Mirror, and I am obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I'm almost done with it, so I'm like really sad that I'm going to be empty.
Or you're just really sad that it exists and you've been watching it in the first place because it's incredibly sad.
I have been watching a show called Dragula, which is
a Rob Zombie song?
No, it's actually not. It's a.
I mean, it is a Rob. Zombie song.
Yeah. But it's a reality show with drag queens who are competing to be like the next drag super monster. So unlike like RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that, where it's like kind of a pageant for like pretty and doing cool stuff, this is all like horror drag. And like
okay,
it's like horror, glamour, and filth are the three components. So they show up and like the looks that they pull are honestly kind of horrifying with the prosthetics and the like. For example, one of the ones in the top three came out and the look was horror, and so she was wearing this like huge white gown and she had like frailed white hair that was like back over her forehead so you could see her entire head, and her face was like there were huge scratch marks down her face that were bloodied and that had whited her eyes out, and so her eyes were white, and she was like holding a mirror and she was like kind of floating down, and then they dumped blood on her and she just started like screaming, and it was a little bit horrifying, but that's really pretty cool. Great. It's really interesting.
For the love of performance, I might at least watch like a few episodes, but I don't know how much of it I can handle at a time.
Watch some of the. Well, I'll recommend some episodes later because it's really good. And then of course they have regular Drag Race, which just premiered.
Right. Oh yeah.
I've been watching a lot of old horror movies. Like I said, Friday the 13th and stuff like that, because I just like found a way to get like a free trial so I could watch them and then cancel the free trial. But I've been listening to quite a lot, actually. I've been listening to a lot of the people that were nominated for the Grammys. You know, Lord, Melodrama was my favorite album of last year because I thought it was genius. I've been listening to the people that I'm going to see in concerts, which have been Halsey and Gaga and Lana. I'm seeing Lana in February. And so I've been listening to her a lot to try to kind of get in the mood. And then I've been listening to Halsey and Florence. I've been listening to a lot of Florence and the Machine.
I've been meaning to listen to Florence and the Machine.
I started listening to her and I'm obsessed with her now. And reading... I've been reading that book, The Snowman. I've been trying to read The Sun and Her Flowers, which is the sequel to Milk and Honey, which was a poetry book. And it was amazing. I loved that book. It made me feel all sorts of things. And I've been playing game-wise. I honestly have not been playing that much. I found that I've been doing more than just sitting there and playing. You know, I've just been busier. And so I have the mentality where I'm like, I really want to play this game. But then I'm like, but you're tired. Or, but you have other stuff to do. And then I'm like, But I am waiting for Far Cry 5.
Okay. Yeah. Nazi Killer 5000 or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. That's all real good stuff. For me, watching, I haven't been watching much lately other than like YouTube channels of like philosophical media stuff like Wisecrack, Nerd Writer. Just Right put a video up recently that is what writers can learn from Mad Max Fury Road. Which apparently
is there a lot?
Well, yes, but like for one, if you haven't seen Fury Road, oh my god, like it's the shit. Like I always describe it as here's the top, here's over the top, here's Mad Max Fury Road. Like it is just so much, and it's excellent.
They made a game off of that, I think. They made a Mad Max Fury Road game.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I think it was just like a Mad Max game.
Yeah, it's like a racing game.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie didn't have a script.
Yeah.
They had storyboards, but it didn't have a script because like writing it out wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it was really more like a graphic novel as a script, which is really cool. And then I mean, I guess I've also been like watching old Jackie Chan movies.
Any particular reason behind that?
I love Jackie Chan. He's the greatest. Just also because kung fu movies are really fun to watch, even if the story's garbage. Just kung fu movies are really fun to watch. And then I've been listening to M83. Which is kind of strange, just because like M83 hasn't put out an album in like 2 years. Right. But I've been catching up on that. Still listening to everything. Still listening to Clipping. But I've also been listening to a lot of local artists.
Yeah.
Because I've been feeling more and more like a hypocrite trying to promote my own music as a local artist and not listening to other artists. And so I have been listening to local artists. I listened to Noisebleed Sound. They're excellent. Mm-hmm. Michelle is excellent, has an excellent voice, and then just all of the I know almost everyone in that band. I listened to Packing for Pluto recently.
I've listened to them.
They're really cool sound. I'll be playing a show with Don't Tell Dina soon.
Nice. I listened to Don't Tell Dina back when
I was in Don't Tell Dina.
Back when I Won't came out.
Right. But now they do really cool stuff. I'm not into Taldina, but they do really cool stuff. They have an album coming out, or I guess it will have already been out. Yay, future past tense. So that album is out February 9th.
Nice.
And so they're putting out some music. I can't wait to hear it.
Any Johnny Manchild and the Poor Bastards?
I haven't been listening to them yet.
Really?
I will. That's another person on my list. Keith Lee is really good. Really anyone who's on a Heller Music Group. And man, I'm losing track of who all the list. But yay, all of these people who make awesome stuff, and there's so many people to listen to. Playing, I got to one of the last fights in Undertale, and I'm losing my patience because I'm doing a neutral playthrough.
Yeah.
Or a pacifist playthrough, and so it's like becoming increasingly difficult near the end because I don't have any killing power. Did you play Undertale?
Actually, no. I have watched people play Undertale, and it looked like something that if I got into it, I would never stop. And
it's not that long.
If I didn't like it, I would hate it. There's a part of the fandom that I'm like,
yeah,
stay
that
away.
was a reason as to why I hadn't played it for so long.
Yeah.
It's like a similar thing. Oh yeah, by the way, watching Steven Universe. Everyone should watch the shit out of Steven Universe. But yeah, similar thing. Like the Undertale fan base is like, ugh.
Yeah.
Same with the Steven Universe fan base is like, oh geez, like
even like the Gravity Falls fan base sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People. Just let people enjoy things and just leave it at that. But I also have like a whole other list of video games that I bought on the Steam winter sale that I
That's exactly where I am right now. Is I bought like 50 games that were like $300 altogether, but I saved like $200.
Yeah,
and 50,
exactly.
And so I have like 50 games that I need to play because the PS4 PlayStation Store did a sale too.
Yeah.
And so, it was console, so it was like, ooh. And now I have like 20 games to play, and I need to get through them because then something else comes out, and I'm like, hey, I'll buy it, and then it just sits on the please play me list.
Yep. Well, that's why I enjoy short story-based indie games because they are short. They are very like emotional or very good quality, very good art, but don't have like, the millions of dollars to back up a, semi-soulless game or whatever.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, yeah, in the same way of support your local musicians, support indie games as well. And then, yeah, did I list all of the watching, listening,
Reading.
playing, reading? I just finished reading The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein. Science fiction is my shit. But a really cool book, really before its time. Really, like the 1960s was like the amazing time for science fiction for whatever reason. And like it has a very interesting perspective about an AI, which is really interesting coming from Robert Heinlein in the 1960s because computers didn't really.
No one knew they could do that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got. Anyways, again, Tyler, thank you for doing this with me.
No problem. I loved it.
Where can we find you and your things?
You can find me at Tyganza. My handle is Tyganza on most social media, TYGANZA. And then, Facebook.
Yep. And then we will look forward to whatever stories and stuff that you're going to write, and I'm sure we will all enjoy.
I ever publish, I'll pay you for a 30-second ad.
Yeah, don't pay me for shit. I'll promote it anyways. Uh, heck, even if you don't, you just self-publish, put it on Amazon for free or whatever, and just be like, hey, here you go, it's a book. I mean, that's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Because really just finish things.
Yeah.
That's
what I need to do.
That's the trick.
That's my problem. I need to finish things.
But yeah, once you start finishing things, it's like, oh, this is what finishing things feels like.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that some more. But yeah, again, thank you. I'm Santiago Ramones.
I'm Tyler Johnston.
You can find all the things that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music as well as this podcast. You can leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can leave comments on YouTube, or I don't know what sort of interaction you can do on Stitcher, because I don't use Stitcher, but you can do that as well. Or you can leave comments directly on my website as well. Let me know what you think. If you like it or don't like it, you can buy my music or not buy my music. You can download it for free or just continue streaming it off of Bandcamp, whatever you want to do. And I am going to be playing more music live this year, and I will try to update that on the social medias as often as I can. I always end my podcast with my 3 things. Those 3 things shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.